Hi guys, Phil from Tech for Techs here. Today we're going to be looking at these Arctic BioniX X P series fans. Okay then, today we're going to be looking at these Arctic BioniX X P140 fans. They also do a P120 version, which is just basically the 120mm version. This is the 140. Basically, the P stands for Pressure-optimised, which, if you're not familiar with Pressure-optimised compared to something on the lines of high airflow or something like that, don't get me wrong, these are still quite high airflow, but Pressure-optimised, basically what it does is, instead of when the fan blows the air through, it sort of spreads out everywhere, okay? So it just wants to get the air out as quick as possible, so there's not usually much of a pattern to it, so it goes in every direction. But with Pressure Optimized, they're basically sort of like a funnel design. So what happens is the air flows through the fan, so it gets to about there, the fan's there, and then the air basically comes to like sort of a point to get pushed out, so it's like a sort of a vortex or whatever sort of effect where it basically goes to that one area. So it's ideal for when you're like cooling down CPUs or reservoirs on water coolers and stuff like that, because it basically pinpoints the airflow at a specific area rather than just blowing it all over the place. So it's basically pressure optimized, and it is optimized to give you that extra bit of airflow in that specific place rather than all over. So let's have a look at the box. So obviously it says Arctic on there. You've got your 10-year warranty, which is pretty good for anything these days, 10 years. It's got a QR code. That's where you get your manual and stuff like that. They don't generally put manuals in Arctic stuff these days. They're basically saving the planet and stuff like that, which is good for them. But obviously it means you do have to get a smartphone or a tablet to be able to read the information. Obviously it's telling you about it being a gaming fan, and it's got PWM PST, which basically means that the fan on there has obviously the connections you'll need to sync with lots of other fans, but as well, one of the other things it does do is the fan will stop if it doesn't need to run. So obviously the motherboard says, oh, it's not running hot, so it relays that to the fan, and the fan will just stop. And then as it gets warmer, the fan will kick in again. So that's to keep the noise levels down, so it's as quiet as possible. But obviously when it does get hot, then obviously the speed of the fan increases to cool down more. So as you can see, the box, pretty standard. Black and white for that one, red and black for that one, depending on the colour of the fans you go for. The sides, there isn't much information other than barcodes, language information and stuff. On the back on there, you've got obviously a picture on there talking about the optimised fan and stuff like that. So as you can see, the airflow going through, and it's sort of coming to a point. It's showing you the blades there. It looks like there's about 5 blades on that. And then you've got your 4-pin PWM PST connector as well. And it's telling you about the ball bearing, it's got Teflon in it and stuff like that. So it's definitely a good piece of kit, especially when you think about fans, how often they go, especially with ball bearings. They're giving you a 10-year warranty on these. So let's open this one up and let's have a look what's in the box. Okay, so first thing that comes out is screws. So screws, they are silver. I'd like to have seen black screws, especially considering most of the fans are black and some variation of colour. So it would be nice to see obviously black screws, or at least even black and silver screws, that way it would match with your case and other things. Let's have a look, let's open the box up. Okay, so inside we've got thank you for choosing Arctic, a little booklet. Please contact us if you have any concerns, basically, so phone number, email address and so on. And you've got your QR code for your instructions manual. To be honest, if you combine those two together, you've got yourself a small manual. So Just thoughts there. Right, so the actual fan itself, you've got a nice long cable there, so that should be long enough to plug into pretty much most places on your motherboard with ease, going around the back panel. You've got your double connector there, so obviously you can plug one into your motherboard and connect another fan directly into that, so it only takes up one connector. So that's good. The fan itself has got your 5 blades there. It's nice, sturdy. I wouldn't say it was rubber, it feels like a soft plastic, but it might be slightly rubberized, but I'm guessing that's just plastic. You've got their logo on the centre, and then the back, obviously it just says the information like Arctic and DC 12 volt and so forth. But that's what the actual fan looks like. Well, we'll give it some tests on our CPU cooler, see if it makes much of a difference from a standard fan. Okay, so we gave this fan a bit of a testing as well as a few others. We also tested a Skype, a Xilinx, an Antec and an Akasa fan. You'll find more information about the models on our website, which is www.techfortechs.co.uk, or click the link in the description. To do the testing, we used the Skype Mugen Max CPO cooler, which is 140mm as standard, and we tried it with all the different fans. We did 3 tests on each fan, the idle temperature after 30 minutes being idle, doing nothing. Then we did the 30-minute stress test of the CPU itself, and checked what the average temperature as well as the max temperature was. We ran each of these tests 3 times as well to get the average. In basics, the temperatures on idle for all the fans were roughly within 1 or 2 degrees of each other. After the 100% CPU burn for 30 minutes, the temperatures ranged between 53 degrees Celsius and 57, with the Arctic P140 being the lowest temperature fan running, which is pretty good. And then we also checked to see the highest temperatures the CPUs run at, and they ranged between 60 and 68 degrees. And again, the Arctic P140 was the coolest running fan there. Noise levels between all the fans was pretty much round about the same, within a couple of decibels, nothing that you would actually hear any difference, just that even though there was no difference, the Antec did perform better. And bear in mind, it has only got 5 blades compared to some of them which go all the way up to 11 blades. In conclusion, the Arctic P140 not only cooled better than its competitors, but it also did it with fewer blades than the others with style. It's a very smart looking fan. The optimised airflow is another plus, and it's got that going for it, which a lot of fans don't. The P140 is basically more expensive than most of the fans, with the exception of the Scythe, but again, it's one of those things, if you want the higher performance you'll pay for it. And also it's a very good looking fan. One thing to bear in mind, there is no RGB on this compared to a lot of things, but to be honest, it's nice to see something what isn't all looks and no performance. The pros are, first of all, it's quiet. It's also optimized so the airflow goes to that basically that funnel effect rather than going all over the place. It's attractive looking considering it's not RGB, but again that can be a positive. There are 2 colour variants available. You've got red and black and white and black. I would personally like to see a blue and black, because blue seems to be a common colour people seem to go for these days. You also have the option of daisy chaining your fans, and this is great if you've not got many connectors on your actual motherboard. Negatives, I can only really think of the one, which is the silver screws. Basically, it would be nice to have been having some black screws in there. Most cases these days are generally black, so you don't want them to, obviously these silver things shiny on the back of your black case, or if you're using it on like a top mount or whatever, it's going to be quite obvious. So black screws would be nice, even possibly white, or even some sort of little cover you can put over the screws so they'll match in with the rest of your case. We were very happy with this fan and can't do anything but recommend it. We have awarded it our Platinum Award, which is the highest award we do. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Otherwise, please feel free to go to our website techfortechs.co.uk and take a look at some of the other reviews we've done and more in-depth information about them. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.